Hi buddy, welcome back to Vintage Story Season 2, Episode 65 with me, Sid, and we are where we left off last episode, out in the wilds, near this dead, deceased Sawblade Locust and that ruin over there, and my original plan had been to explore a little bit more widely over here. Now I say my original plan because I've been postulating for a while. It's a good word, isn't it? Postulating about the feasibility of doing something similar to an old series I did back in my mind. Well, not back in Minecraft days. I still play Minecraft, and I will still play Minecraft because it's a good game, and there's a lot of mileage left in it. I have got a few ideas for things to do with Minecraft going forward, but there was the idea that I've been playing around with has been to try and do the equivalent of a Nomad series in Vintage Story. Now the problem with doing a Nomad series in Vintage Story is quite simply, well, for one, inventory. For two, you really do need a bit of a base in Vintage Story. It doesn't matter how little of a base build you want to do, you really do need to have a base of operations. And I've been kind of discussing in some other series which you haven't seen yet because they're not out, so I can't really talk about the series, but I'll use the word mini series. It's a mini series, if anything. But I've been playing around with the concept of this in discussions, and the idea of a nomadic existence in Vintage Story is appealing, and the conversation has kind of erred towards the idea that, well, nomads are just not constantly moving. They don't sit there and settle down in a location for one night and then move on the following day. A lot of nomadic tribes would, the idea is you settle down in an area for a season or for a specific purpose. Now that purpose may be, I really don't want to have to be doing this. No, that's not fair. You're cheating. There's only a small gap there. Yeah, I mean, the idea of settling down in a place, for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, and then moving on is actually... Oh, damn it. Oh, God. Stop it. And you. And... How many more of you are there down there? You want me, you're going to have to come get me. That would probably be a useful thing to do, wouldn't it? How many more are there? Quite a lot, and they're making it difficult to actually move around down here. Just because of that. So what I'm kind of thinking towards is an idea where you go away. That's what I'm thinking about. You just leave me alone. And the world will be good and happy. I've got no healing, have I? No. Okay. Best I can do is that. Oh, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Now, most of this will be okay, because most of these are just locust nests, but that one in the corner will be a pain. Yeah, and anyway, let me get to where I'm trying to go with this conversation, because I'm really not doing a good job. The simple idea here is that I would like to come up with a way to have a nomadic existence which allows you to have a base, but kind of take the base with you. Now, the only way I can think of doing that easily, can I it's not massive, but that's probably a good thing. Because there's I haven't got a lot of space. Now these things are a pain. I'm in two minds about what I think about the repair system as it exists in Vintage Story now. I'm getting distracted here. Yeah, let me go back to let's go back to where I wanted to be, which was on the idea of a nomadic series, a nomadic existence, if you like. So my thoughts are along the idea of a system where we can move, explore an area, settle down, do a little bit of development work, you know, and so on and so forth. And right, these are probably going to start spitting out quite a lot of locusts. Let me leg it a bit. I can probably handle this swarm of these little gits because they actually don't do a lot of damage, but there's a lot of them. But that should be all of them. Yeah, that was not fun. Right, let's have an investigate around down in here. Yeah, there's nothing hiding. See, I'm suspicious when you see some of these little gaps because they kind of hint at other options. I will try and get to the point here. Now, one of the things I need to do is come up with a means of actually achieving fine trousers. Lovely. I don't mind if I do. Let me get some fine trousers. And I'll have you for definite. If I can. Let me see. Is there something we can utilize now? I don't think there's anything out there. So what we've got in here is our lot basically. There's another chandelier up there though, which would be... Did I get the chandelier? I did. Did I get the candles? I didn't. And we'll definitely have that. I'm not worried about the bed. really that worried about that. I would like those hooks. And the fact is that everything shatters unless you use glue on it. We need to change that setting if it's possible. I don't mind a little bit of it shattering, but I don't want everything shattering. That would be more than a little distracting, I think. Book would be nice for decorative purposes, as is that book there, the tapestry, but I think we're going to have to be a little bit selective about what we take here, just on the basis that, yeah, we're not going to be able to pick any of that up, are we? So, where am I trying to go with this in my kind of stumbling, bumbling way? Well, I have got a mod. I can pick that. No, I don't want you. Thank you. I want that. How much rope have I managed to pick up? 8. I have got a mod which allows me to build a tent. Now, those of you who watched the Rusty Gears so annoying. See, now I can't get up there because that's in the way. And now I need to get up there. Right, okay, now we can get out. Yeah, those of you who've watched the Rusty Gears knows that there is within the parameters of the mods we're playing with. I'm just going to check what I've got. To get rid of 3 of that. Okay. There is a tent bag within the useful items mod, I think it is. If we look under here and go back, there is, in the blocks and items, under the word tent, there's an empty tent bag, which is a pelt and some rope, and it makes this from useful stuff. Now, what this mod has done is it's taken the concept of the tent bag and it has tweaked it up. There's a configuration file with it that allows you to configure what the tent bag can and can't pick up, and this, I think, is the answer to our dilemma on how to have a nomadic lifestyle, because this will pick up, I think it's a 3 radius 7 high structure from a set based on a center block. There are certain things it won't pick up, and there are certain, no, let's not go over there, that might be a bad idea, and there are certain things it will pick up. So if I, for example, do that, I think is it, hang on, there is a completely empty tent bag, need to pack something into it. There you go. So we take that out and we put it back. And you can see it's taken out 3 things. Now that is a configurable size, so I could make my tent bag bigger and I could stick down my chest, for example, and I can carry that with me wherever I want to go. And I think that may be the solution to the dilemma of how to have this nomadic existence. So we need to, I need to put you down, or get you, if I can just put you away, and then that can go away. So we've got some seeds, we've got a few bits and pieces of stuff to keep, we've got a bit of money, we got some useful stuff out of that, I think. So that was quite a good little trip, but I'd like to have a look and investigate this tent bag a little bit more. So I'm going to go and check the configurations for starters, and then we're going to see if we can't come up with a means of travelling further, because we've done that. I mean, we didn't go very far when you look at where we are to where we got to, but travelling further with more inventory and more options to store our bits as we go. So let me just have a look at that and I'll be back in a moment. Alright then, I have tweaked the configs. I've upped the size a little to a 4x4 radius with an 8 high, which will be a 9x9x8 tall, so there's some settings I want to use. I've added the ability to include an anvil and a forge in there, so in theory you could carry your forge around in your tent. Is it realistic? Of course it's not. Do I care? Not especially. However, I need to get myself some grass, because I need to get myself some dye, and the colour of dye that I wish to obtain requires grass and barrels of water. So I'd like to have an experiment with making myself a tent, but I don't want to just do any old let's throw some blocks together. That is not the way that I rock, and consequently we're coming out here up around our base where we're going to have a bash at making the starts of a tent structure that we can carry around with us. Now, this is not so much because I want to do everything up here, it's just this is where I've got most of the materials I need, so you know, it makes a certain degree of sense, doesn't it? And yeah, we'll come in here and we'll grab some of this off of here. This is obviously still not warm enough to be growing crops up here yet, so we'll but we're in spring, so it should be getting warmer steadily. Why is because that's still frozen. That's fine, that we can live with. A bit more maybe. I need I need 48 per barrel, don't I? And I'm going to need more than 1 barrel. So I'm going to grab a bit more and I'll be back in a short while. Alright, so we're going to, we need to empty 2. This is the usual problem you have with a lot of the recipes, or at least that's what I normally have, so I'm assuming this is going to be the same. So the recipe for green dye is, if I look at the uses of this, I can make green dye with this, and it's 4 to 4 makes 4 litres. Now you can't put, the uninitiated may say, well that's 1 to 1. You can't put 50 in a barrel of 50. You have to put 48 in, and it can't be 48 in a barrel of 50. It has to be 48 in a barrel. Now I've got 40 there. I don't actually have a spare barrel over here, so I'm not going to panic too much about that, and I should have, I've got a good bit of dry grass there. So that will make, that's 4 days, so we've got to spend some time. It is starting to thaw up here, so that's all good, and I will also want to be thinking about how to do this, because traditionally or typically this doesn't take a floor with it, so I need to get something that will make a good floor material. There's something that stands out. Now the obvious choice and thought would be packed dirt, which I haven't got any of. It doesn't matter, I can get packed dirt. That's really quite simple. I can. Why are you not letting me get a big lot out? Weird. I can do it with medium fertility, it's not a problem. Except of course I've just gone and done it in the wrong place, but that's fine. 12 days, 12 days, 3 days, okay. That's next on the menu then. But that kind of gives us a space. Now I need to place this in the world, and I need to build this in the world somewhere. We might as well go, if I'm going to make, is this big enough? Do I need to go outside? Probably need to go outside. Have I got enough space kind of down here? If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can go 1, 2, three. So that's the middle. And then this would be the end. And I'm not going to go any bigger than this. I mean, this might be a bit big, but you know, we'll see. Damn, didn't have enough. Okay. Well, we'll rectify that, and then we can plan some space. I do need to go wider as well, but there's a question mark about whether these bits over here should be grass rather than at either end. Let me get this like that. Yeah, I think we do want that to be dirt that can grow into grass all the way around the outside, because I've kind of got a plan for this. It doesn't make a great deal of sense, I'll be honest, when I think about the plan in my head, but oh wow, all my trees grew up. Just went, one day they were not there, the next day, boink. These have still got some time to go though, but this is a big old pine growth that will keep us going. But now we're actually thawing out over here. We can spend a bit more time up here anyway, so let me just go and grab some dirt from here maybe. 1, 2. Yeah, this'll do. I can kind of take away from this bit here. Oh, big old lag spike. Wasn't anything like a storm coming or anything, so I should know better than to tempt fate like that, of course. That might be enough. Let's go and give it a try, and then we can build a frame. Now this is going to be a chisel structure, so it's, you know, going to be the idea that we'll have it reasonably chiseled, and I need to decide what size of a structure I want to be able to carry, what size of a structure is reasonable. Put that in there. It doesn't actually take the floor, which is why I want a floor. So that's the thing, like that. Okay, we can let's go grab some timber while we wait on that, and I can It's starting to thaw out now. We're getting away from this nasty setup here. Right, so we got that. I would like a trapdoor. I don't know if I've got a trapdoor. I do have a trapdoor. That will come in handy. And then what I probably want is some, aged logs might look good. Stripped aged logs could be interesting. How many have I got? Have I got enough? Yeah, we'll go with stripped aged logs. Sounds like a plan to me. So we need you. We'll go boop, 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 and boop. Lovely. Now, there's huge questions here. How's this going to work out in practicality? Do I allow myself to start off with? Let me just put these here. So that's the edges. I want you to be there. No, not there. It doesn't really matter, but I want you to be there like that. Lovely. And I bet I haven't got a hammer and chisel on me, have I? I'm so used to just carrying everything in my inventory, with me for hammering and chiseling, that it's very easy to forget you haven't got one. This will be a snip, I think. And I did have my pantograph, didn't I? I think I left it down at the southern base, but that's fair. We can work around that, I am sure. We'll take these back too. They're not going to be that big. They're going to be small. Going to be smaller posts than this, but probably that size. I think any smaller than that will look a little bit odd. Now, technically I probably should put these on the inside, but then I actually take up valuable space inside the tent, and the tent's not very big. If things do I could go. That does make a certain amount more sense, doesn't it? Yeah. And this is kind of all going hand in hand with my long-term plans. So I think I've already said this, that my plan is that this season of single player will finish when we move to season 4 of the Rusty Gears server, which I don't know exactly when that is, but I'm hazarding later on in this year, towards the end of it, probably. November, December, if I'm going to have a hazard a guess. And that effectively means that I need to start thinking about what I want to do. In single player, I think a Nomad series could be very entertaining. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Yeah, I think we'll get away with that. Now what I do need to do is go and get my other bits and pieces of chiseling materials, because these are not my chiseling materials. These are my forge materials. The chiseling materials are somewhere else. So we need to pass the night anyway. We've got to wait for this stuff to go and then we can make the clay. So I'll be back in a short while. Alright, so while we are up here and we are waiting for this, because he's only not even done a full day yet, I would like to also visit our storm shelter, because this is not safe anymore. Now this is fine, all of that's fine, it's the stuff. So I'm going to need, I think, probably granite bricks, granite stone, just something along those lines. I'm going to need my chisel. So we are going to want, well, we're going to want your pantograph. We're definitely going to want our chisel. We're definitely going to want that. Pulverizer frame, optimistic at the moment. But I need to make this, in theory, storm proof. And I can only think of one way of doing that. So find me some nice granite blocks of some description or another. Or not, as the case may be. There. I can't believe I've got so little good stuff here. Let me try granite sand. It's as good as anything. I've got a reasonable amount of it. The actual block is largely a material. It's more whether it works or not. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of you, and we need to go pop that in there, and then we're going to take you and you, and we are going to can you not chisel sand? Oh man. Alright, we ain't doing it then. Right, let's go and try something with something else. Why can you not chisel sand? Don't agree with that. There's going to be a lot of tweaks necessary before we move over, because this is not, I bet you can't do gravel either. I mean, I've got some granite cobblestone, so we can take you. I've got a handful of, well, we'll take that handful of granite bricks. I don't think I've got any more granite bricks floating around anywhere, have I? No, obsidian rock, no, nothing useful there. We'll take the conglomerate and that's andesite. Didn't I have some more granite cobble? I might be barking up the wrong tree here. Okay, that's fine. We'll make a start with that. So we know that the stones on the floor are not supposed to work in 1.9 as a means to prevent spawns. Now in theory these still should, but I'm going to change them out anyway. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with you, and we're going to I'm actually going to go and get my hand planer as well. I should have a hand planer. I do. No, that's a finishing chisel. Hand planer. Reason for this is a damn sight easier, but I figure that I want to be ready for the incoming storm. When things, now this is no longer a block. So then what we can do is we'll take you out and you out. And we'll go in with, I don't know, maybe this. And again, we'll slice off. Right, now if I come around here and bring you up, I just want to take a layer off, don't I? And that needs to be copied to there. And then what we want to do is do something similar here, but then there's a question mark and definitely here. So let's take this down to 1 thick. And we can still move around in there. I'm inclined to do the rest of these as 1 thick as well, just because and then it's just these sections. And I think what we can do here, because these will be air blocks if I leave them. Well, I could leave them like that, but let's not. Let's stick that there and there. Take you all the way back to there. That still should qualify as a non-air block. And then oops, boom. But then if I were to, what if I did this? Now this may completely not work at all, but you know, I've got to come up with something for a storm shelter technique that that will work in this version of Vintage Story. So hopefully this will qualify as making sure, well, it will do once we've done them all, as making them all non-air blocks. Let me and then let's rotate that. So now none of this should be an air block. I can come over here and I can attack from these corners without any problems. That's not an air block. That's not an air block because it's got that in it. I think, because it's got the door in it there, I think we're safe. I think this should qualify as being spawn proof as far as temporal storms are concerned. However, I have been wrong before, and I will possibly be wrong again, so let's not get carried away. But we'll give it a try, because the worst that can happen is I can die and I should respawn here anyway, so you know, big whoop. Anyway, I am going to just get on with the little bit of chiseling down near the tent. We've got to pass some time waiting for this lot, so I'll be back in a short while. Alright, so I'm getting my wish, getting the chance to test this. I hit a problem, and I should have remembered this one because I hit the same problem when we did the original, and that was you can't get off the ladder unless you do that. So that was the thing that I almost forgot. Somewhere that's my hammer is as well, but it doesn't matter. We're good. Now it's a heavy storm, so could be entertaining. But we're going to ride this one out, and if I die, I die, you know. It's one of those things. The other thing that's been a problem is I can't seem to get the configuration file for the tent mod to change. So it's a 3x3x7, and I don't think it's going to allow me to take an anvil. I need to test that out. But yeah. There's a good chance that this could be unpleasant. But in theory, there are no air blocks in this chamber. I am just going to play it safe with a spear on my hand, just to be careful. I mean a shield, because if something does manage to spawn in this space, then we'll be ready for it. And yeah, here we go. One temporal storm. I'll be back once it's over. Alright, this is not good. They can open doors. This is not good at all. At least I think they can open doors. Something's opening the door. So that's a piece that's changed. Which is not ideal. I apologise for those of you who don't like this, but that door kept on opening. There's a two-headed drifter out there and I want it. But he's not the two-headed though. Yep. He can open doors. Okay. We need to rethink this then. Desperately. That is not going to work. Nothing seemed to spawn in the blocks, which is thing, but opening doors, that seems a little bit unfair. That seemed more than a little bit unjustified. I mean, the temporal storms are a pain, enough of a pain without giving the drifters the ability to open doors. Okay, I'm not happy about that at all. But we appear to have survived anyway, so, and we can always sleep through the storms. That's an option. I just need to redesign that going forward. Anyway, let me show you what we've done so far. I've done a frame. It's got a little fireplace in the corner. We've got a bed. We've got some storage going in. That's the 3. I can put more. There's room for more storage. I could stick 3 there, for example. We can, you know, muck around with this one. This frame goes up high. I've got some lighting in there. We've got a nice little door, and yeah, that's all good. What I don't have is any green clay blocks. I think I'm going to need more than I've got, so I'll put another thing on which will give me another 48 pieces of green clay. It needs 0.2 days, and then we can cook it up and we can slice it up and use it to make things. But I think for the roof I am going to need solid blocks, so this is going to be an interesting one. Anyway, at least we've got past the temporal storm, although technically we haven't got past the temporal storm. I need to look into this one. I didn't realise that they could open doors. Don't like that. You know, we have to have some defence against these things eating your faces. Just seems a little bit unfair, doesn't it? They are 58% dried. Okay, that's taking a while. That is now Perry, which is fresh for 50 odd days. If I had some bottles, I'd make some. I'd bottle it up, but you know, we'll leave it for now. 58 days, that's plenty of time to decide what to do. So I am just waiting for this clay to finish. We cook it 8 to make 1 block, so as soon as this is done, I'll be back with you. Alright, the first batch of dye actually, and clay, because I put the clay in. It takes another 12 hours after you've put the clay in to stain the clay green. So I think, judging by the size of the structure that I've built, and I think I'm going to need more clay than I have budgeted for. Just give me there we go. So I'm going to get another. I've got another barrel on, and I'm going to get another barrel going, and that will give us plenty to be going with, and then we can just better seal it. Still going to take 4 days, so no rushing this, unfortunately. But that one will be done in 0.2 days, and then we can get the clay going. This is all of the blocks that we're getting off of this, so yes, all of that, and you walk away with 6 blocks of green clay. So yeah, it's not the fastest thing, but I've kind of made my bed, so we're going to have to lie in it. And what we are going to do is we're going to take my saw, and I'm going to just take 2 of these for now. Of course it's that way around. This will just give me a starting point, just to demonstrate what I'm actually aiming to achieve here. And then we can pop that there. Now I don't know whether I can use this, and I'm going to have to waste one potentially just to find out. I've had problems doing this in... Oh, that's the steel chisel I found, wasn't it? I'm sat there going, where did I get a steel chisel from? Yeah, I'm going to have to find out. It will take it, but will it allow me to use it? I mean, it should do. There should be more than enough space or voxels in a slab to make a 1 thick wide. This is going to be a bit painful, isn't it? Getting the first one in. A 1 thick wide thing, which that will make life a lot easier. Now, whether I'll get away with it going diagonally, I really don't know. And I suppose the only way we're going to find that one out is trial and error. But naturally, you know, the idea here is that this is it's a shame you can't go even thinner, because then I could really make this work. As it stands, I mean, I can make it work, but it's going to be a little bit painful, because 12 blocks are only going to give me 24 blocks, and this is 1, 2, 3, that's 2 blocks there straight away, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then so a lot. I mean, we're probably going to use most of those 12 blocks just getting this half of the tent front done. So I think we are going to have to be a little bit conservative in my plans here. Let me just go and I'm just going to get 10 of those for now. I'm not going to, if I do them all, then I can stick them all back together again using clay, but I have to waste clay, so it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't on that one. And I presume, yeah, we can. Where did? Oh, I put there. Okay, that's fine. I do, however, need to elevate myself over that. I mean, I might manage a couple. I suppose the other thing I could do is just draw from the top. That would have made a lot more sense, seeing as I'll know straight away that we're going to drop. So this is the idea of, you know, of this build, and we could have something similar later on once we've actually. Oh yeah, I can't add voxels like that. And that's going to be painful, isn't it? Damn you. I could just go and get some dirt. I mean, you know, that is always an option as well. But I think, I mean, the green tent is a bit, to be honest, it's a bit 20th century, isn't it? But that's fine. So I'm going to go for 3 like that. Let me just grab some scaffolding, get a bit more of this filled in, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, we've got some done. I've worked out I'm going to need another 75 half slabs, which is, what's that, 35, 38 blocks, 6 blocks a barrel, so 2 barrels is 12, 24, 36 for 6 barrels. Yeah, I need a lot more, but this is looking reasonably good. The nice thing is that only takes a half slab still, so all of this is done with half slabs, and you can still pick all of this up in your bag, and then you can come over here and you can come and you can deploy it there, and there you go. It doesn't change its orientation, so it's always facing the same way, and then we'd have a little home from home. And yeah, I can't seem to get the config working, but that I can live with. So just a lot more green clay. Now when I'm playing on the Nomad series, I can obviously use whole blocks and build this up and just make this really crude to start off with and refine it and improve on it. So that is that. I am going to get that because that's going to be kind of what we're aiming for. I'm also just going to, for the time being, put away all my chiseling tools and the shield. I don't really need. I might as well put that away for now. Actually, okay, hang on, no, and then we need to pick you up like this. So I will probably put some windows in it. I'll probably, you know, tart it up a little bit, give it a little bit more storage than that. I did consider whether I could get that or things, but I think I can put some storage here and, you know, maybe a bit there, and we'll clutter it up, make it look reasonable, and the world will be good and happy. So currently I have got 2 barrels of soya beans that I harvested earlier. They need 14 days sealed, and they will then allow me to make soya milk, which will give me dairy. Hopefully my chickens are about ready to hatch. I have 2 more barrels of green dye here, and while I was passing the time, I also put in 7 barrels of green dye going on up here. So all of this is done. I have harvested and replanted that. I've replanted all the fields up at the northern base. I'm out of meat anyway. Oops, sorry. My bad. You are going to be my lunch. I'll leave the bones. The other one, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. It was accidental in your case. Yeah, I mean, that's all good. We are in a good position, and these are all planted, these fields out here, so we'll just tootle along. I need to pass some time anyway, so we'll see how that goes. At the moment I'm eating cooked charred turnip, which made it last a lot longer, so I'm starting to learn a lot more about preserving my food as well. This is going to be particularly useful for a Nomad series that like I have planned anyway. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon, and bye for now.